Okay, so we see the chart, we see the pattern. We are seeing that, this is Trinidad, we had gotten 33.6 doses of AstraZeneca, the same vaccine that the United States refused to use in their own country, but are sending here. And that's fine if our government could afford that and want to give the population. I don't care about that. What I care about is you in faith in the word, your choices, your knowledge, what you have to decide. The ones who I am responsible for, the people who listen to me, them is the one I am concerned about. Because the government have to be concerned about the population of Trinidad and Tobago. That's their job. That's not my job. Their job is to take care of the population of Trinidad and Tobago to the best of their ability according to how they see fit. They will be accountable for that. I am not accountable for that. I am accountable to faith in the word. So I am going to take my responsibility and give you the information so that you can make a proper decision when that time reaches. Give me next slide. Keep going. Okay. Continue. Is this the last one? Yeah. I want to save this one for last. Do we have any more forward? These are the charts. Right, hold on, let me see. Okay. The AstraZeneca vaccine uses a chimpanzee adenovirus vaccine vector. They say this is harmless, weakened, a virus that usually causes the common cold in chimpanzees. Now they are taking a virus that is in a chimpanzee and put it into a vaccine which the AstraZeneca uses. They are saying it is not going to boost or travel through the human. That's what they are saying. This is a new vaccine. This only came out a few months ago. They don't know what is going on. They don't even know, maybe in a few months they might find out that this is the vaccine that is actually spreading the virus because it has a virus in it. I don't know. I'm not saying that is what's going to happen, but you don't know in a few months what they're going to find. Because something is up. Something is going on with this vaccine, and the spike, it's running parallel. And we see it in the different countries. It's not just in Trinidad. We've seen it in the different countries where it's being used. But it's not being used in the first world countries. That's the sad thing about it. These other countries have banned it. For whatever reason they banned it, they are using Pfizer and Moderna. So I'm just saying, when we're talking vaccine, and people saying taking the vaccine, and if you don't take the vaccine, you're a threat to the public, I don't understand how it is that if you don't take a vaccine, you are a threat to the public. If people want to protect themselves, and they want the vaccine, and that's what they feel will protect them, let them protect themselves. If people don't want to protect themselves because they don't feel they actually feel they have to be protected from the vaccine, people should have the choice to do that. We should have the choice to choose whatever we want to choose. And if we can't choose, then this is where the Bible comes in. And this is what I want you all to understand. What is this whole thing with the vaccine and how it applies to the Bible? Because the government, in the Bible, the government does certain things against the church. And I have to keep the church aware of what is coming. You cannot fall asleep. You cannot be, right now, you cannot be lackadaisical. We have to be on par. We have to be on top of things. Now, we have, okay, we could come off of that one. You know, I don't want to spend too much of time. Now, look at the agenda here. Okay, hold it there. With all the spikes and with all the stats, according to the governments and according to stats, according to what they're saying, we have had a pandemic from 2020, the whole of 2020 into 2021. All right, so if we had a pandemic, I am just dealing with the facts. I don't want anybody to feel I am criticizing and being fanatical. I am just dealing with the facts. I have to deal with facts. If you have a pandemic in 2020, and you have umpteen amount of 100,000 people died, which was in the United States, I think this is 600,000 deaths from COVID-19. If you have 600,000 deaths from COVID-19, which is more than 500,000, you should see that in the total deaths compare each year. So if 2019 had a certain amount, let me say 2015 had 2 million. 2016 had 21, 2017 had 2.5 million. So you're seeing a little increase. We understand that because every year the population goes. 2018 you have 3 million. And by the time you reach 2020, you should have a jump beyond by 600,000 or more than 500,000 because it's a pandemic, so it's an additional amount of debt to what would normally die. All right, so let me look at the facts. This image is titled U.S. deaths per year. This is in the U.S. And features figures said to be the number of annual deaths since 2015. So these are, in 2015, you had 2.7 million deaths for the year. In 2016, you had 2.7 million deaths, around the same. In 2017, you had 2.8 million deaths, which went up a little bit, so we understand. In 2018, you had 2.8. I mean, it didn't go up 100. You understand? From 2017 to 2018. Then 2019, you had 2.9 million deaths in 2019. So if in 2019 you had 2.9 million deaths, then in 2020 you should have 2.9, at least 2.9 or 3 million for the normal increase, plus additional 600,000 which died in COVID because of the pandemic. Wouldn't that make sense? You should have the normal deaths plus at least 500,000 again. So you should at least be about 3.5 million people should have died in the US in 2020 if you had a pandemic. Yeah. So let me see if we had a pandemic or not, or if this starts lying. 2020, the image says it has taken data up to November 16th, lists 2.4 million, right? That is still November 16th. And then it did the projection to finish the year. It says the total deaths, it makes whole year projection to 2.8. So in 2020, you actually had less people dying total for the year in the United States. That includes the 600,000 pandemic, what they say, died from COVID-19. So you have 2.8 million deaths in a pandemic year, which was less than a normal year, which was 2019, which was 2.9 million. Tell me how that makes sense. You see, you can't hide these stats. How does that make sense? How does it make sense to have 2.9 million people dying in 2019 and in a pandemic year of 2020 when you had an increase of 600,000 deaths in a year, but instead of having, you should have had 3.5 at least million deaths in 2020, you end up having less deaths than in 2019. But they say we have a pandemic. So the only thing to solve that, or to give an explanation for that, is that people dying of normal things, and they would label it as for the pandemic, because the deaths didn't change. In total numbers of people dying did not change. So you ask yourself, what's really going on here? That's the